Okay, welcome back to part 5 of our car building technique series using our Subaru Impreza. Leading off from the last video, we're going to deal with our carbon decals today. And as you can see, there's a lot of carbon decals with this kit. We're going to focus on that spoiler mostly today. Now, we've got our Tamiya decal in carbon. And we've got the photocopy cutout of the template. If anyone would like this, drop me a message on the email address in the description down below and I'll forward it you. What we're going to do, we're going to use this, which is printed to scale correctly, 100%. I have pre-cut one of these out on a different sheet to check that it fits, and it does. We're going to cut out each one of these templates, cut it to size, put it on our carbon sheet, and then cut around it, and then we've got our perfect carbon size. Now if you were clever, you could put it in your printer and print on the back, or if you had a Cricut machine, you could do it through that and have it pre-cut, but I have not, so we're going to do it this way. So it is a long-winded process. There's a few hours work here. I've done this before without the template, and it took even longer. It took me 2 days to do, but I think on this spoiler especially, it's a very prominent part of the car. The spoiler, the mirrors, and the front spoiler are areas that I would definitely try and do if you can. If not, just do this instruction saying paint it black. I won't be using all this carbon that's shown here on the decals. Not that I know of anyway. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But primarily today we're going to focus on the spoiler. Now don't do what I did, which was drop the cutout paper in the water thinking it was a decal, because it's not. So I had to print this again like an idiot, but I've just cut it out. I'm just trying to size, and it looks absolutely spot on. So there should be an overhang at the front, and it should fit flush at the back. So some of the spoiler is left blue. It's not all carbon, so you need to be aware of it and have a look at pictures of the real thing so you can see what it means. So we have these instructions here that are numbered, and there's numbered on each individual carbon piece as well. But basically the upper third section of that spoiler, of that sheet, is the spoiler decals. Now a tip I would give you is to cut off this excess piece off the back, because the amount of times I've cut something and not realised I've had it overhanging on this and it's useless, yeah, it's silly. So we're cutting that off straight away. Now what we do need to do is continuity on the decal weave, so make sure the piece you're using has the weave going the same way as the previous one before it. So we're just going to offer this up to the decal sheet like so, and then get our scissors and cut around it. It's as simple as that. We're using the template as a template. What this has been photocopied off was the actual Studio 27 carbon decal sheet, which Studio 27 carbon is terrible. It doesn't want to conform. I would probably do this anyway with the same sheet. I would use it as a template rather than use the carbon. The Tamiya carbon lays down absolutely beautiful. It is my favourite carbon to use. Like I say, we're just going to use these individual cutouts as a template for our carbon. Now, as you can see, it is going to be quite a labour-intensive job. There are many, many parts to this spoiler. There's pieces underneath, there's pieces behind, there's pieces to think it all together. There's loads. We've got our heated water as in the last video. So we're just going to pop the decal in there. Now the carbon decal from Tamiya. Oh, we've got a biscuit as well. Look at that. A bit of chocolate. That's pretzel chocolate. It is from Aldi. So the carbon decal from Tamiya is a world apart from their kit decals. It is absolutely superb. It's pliable. It lays down absolutely perfect. Why their kit decals can't be like this, I don't know. But the carbon decal is absolutely fantastic. So I'm pushing it down. So we get level at the front so it overhangs to cover it, and at the back, you'll see in a second, it will literally sit at the back perfectly flush with the edge, leaving the blue showing, and that's how the real decal is. Now I have to sped this footage up, I will be here all day, so it's a case of getting each one of these individually cut pieces in place, using decal solutions, which is just going to be the normal from UMP, and our decal pen. Just going to lay it in place. So again, just same procedures before. Get it in place, get all the moisture out from behind it, hit it with the decal solutions, let it sit in there for a minute or so, hit it with some heat, and just work your way around. So I reckon there's got to be about 40 parts of this, 30-40 parts. So you're in for the long haul here, because you've got each bottom piece here all the way along, the top section all the way along, underneath the top section all the way along, each one of those individual fins on both sides through the middle, and then small pieces for the top on the fins at the top, and then vertical pieces going on the side. There's a lot of pieces, but as I said before, if you're not happy doing this, paint it black as the instructions say. But this is a very prominent piece on the car, so if you can and you want to push yourself, do the carbon, and trust me, it's worth doing. If you want this template, drop me an email down below and I'll forward you the template and the instructions, and just print it off at 100% and it should be a perfect size for it. But there we go, there's all the bottom sections in place. Like I say, this decal material from Tamiya, world apart from their kit decals. So you can see there's the sections for the top. So again, we're back to cut them out and cutting our template out on the decal, and then these all sit underneath as well. So you've got a top piece and underneath, and again they butt up to the front and to the back, but the back doesn't overhang. The back of the spoiler will stay blue. So this takes some careful work. Now if you mess up a decal, don't be afraid, just keep the template piece you've got to one side while you're working on it, because as you'll see by the state of my bench in a minute, there's about 400 pieces of decal and paper all over it in a little bit. So don't lose that template in. But again, you can always print it off if you want, again, and reuse it. So as you can see, we've got all those pieces on, all the pieces underneath are going in. We're just setting them in place with the solution. So it is mind-numbingly boring, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's a step definitely worth doing. So we're literally going to do for the bodywork what needs 2K with the rest of the body. So it's this spoiler, there's a front splitter band around the front of the car, and the mirrors as well. The mirrors in the front spoiler aren't too bad to do. This is probably the worst section to do on the model. Now this piece of the back, it has this little cutout section where it goes over that lower fin. My advice would be cut it out as good as you can. Whoa, focus, there we go. Cut it out, and then I would just cut through that section for the top piece. It's too tricky to try and go through in one piece. The great thing about carbon decal, if it's a twill weave like this one, i.e. you have a diagonal pattern, is it's very easy to match it with the pattern, and it's almost impossible to see where you've joined it. It is the beauty of carbon decal, and you can patch things and get away with it. So I would cut this out now, and then cut out that middle section. I think on this one I did try and cut it out in one piece with the scalpel, but it just didn't work going through onto the actual spoiler. It's just having none of it. So I found it easier to cut this piece out as a separate piece away from the main lower piece. But whichever way works best for you is the best way to do it. But either way, just take your time, to be careful not to stab yourself. There we go, we cut through carefully. There we are. So I was like, yeah, that should fit, and yeah, no, it didn't want to know. It was too tricky to get it in. So I just found it easy just to cut that top section off instead for all the other ones. So with that cut off, like so, there we go. We'll put that smaller piece to one side for now. So a little tip for that is put it on the backing paper just came off, which is still moist, and that'll keep the decal moist as well, whilst you deal with this piece. And we're going to do that for every single piece going forward. So it makes it easy. That way we can focus on the piece on the side and then deal with the piece on the top. And don't forget, you've got each side of these to do as well. And you just want it to overhang a little bit over the horizontal, sorry, the vertical plane of that spoiler at the front, so we can tie it in later with the separate set of decal that goes on there. So I mostly asked my patrons, would you like a separate carbon in video? Now it's no real different technique than normal decaling. It's just using these templates where I've got it here. It's just to explain how I'm doing it on here, because I don't think you can get this carbon template anymore. So to have the photocopy of it is very handy. Like I say, the first time I built this kit, I sat and cut all these pieces out by eye, and it took forever. It literally took me probably 3-4 hour sessions over a couple of days to do. Whereas this probably took me 2-3 hours to do in total. So it definitely halved the time having the template to cut them to size. But just take your time. Just same procedure as the larger decals on the body. Just get the moisture out, hit it with the solutions, make sure it's in place. and get it all to conform in place where you want it. So there we go, tricky little decals on top. But the UMP decal solution is working great. Now you can tell by the state of my bench just how many decals have gone down here. So that's all the main decals on. And what we've got here now is this piece for the vertical vanes on the spoiler. And what this will do now is tie in all the pieces we've joined together. So this literally will go right to the back at the very top, flush, not overhanging, like so. There we go. And then make sure it's straight all the way down. And this will cover any areas left where we put the other decals on earlier. So just make sure it's lined up first before you commit to anything to set it in place. And a little bit of heat. And some decal solution, we can get it set in. And we can repeat that for the other 4 as well. Oh, knock on my camera there, apologies. There we go. I do actually have new mounts for my lights on the side. So I have a main overhead lamp, which is like a modelling lamp. And I have 2 filming cameras either side. And that's where I'm hitting. I've got brand new mounts, which have brought them a lot lower down. I think they have improved the lighting. But the downside to that is I keep forgetting they're there and whacking them with my elbow or my head. But I think the light is definitely better. It really is. So there we go. That's those in place. And then one final piece. I've zoomed in a little bit to see. Just so you can see there just where all the joins are on the previous carbon. This will literally tie it all in together. So the carbon weaves going the same way to match it. So once you get this on and it's conformed in place, you won't even see the joint. You won't even notice it's there. Very, very simple. And there we go, we cover that up. Underneath the spoiler is carboned as well. There's 2 pieces on the spoiler template for it, so they can be put in place as well. They're just normal flat pieces, really easy. And then this front piece, I would just cut it out as required, make sure it doesn't wrap over itself like that did, and then line it up perfectly with the demarcation line, the seam line, just there. There we go. Very gently work at it till we get where we want it. So we can use that panel line as a reference. Make sure we've got enough overhang on the edge to take it round as well. And just gently move it round until we've got it all lined up where we want it. There we go. A nice easy piece of carbon, this one. Literally just one thin strip. Lay it on, get it lined up. My advice here would be, don't hit it with decal solutions first, hit it with heat. Which I've just completely ignored and hit it with decal solutions. But I would hit this with heat first just to get it sealed kind of in place where you want it first. Because it will have a habit of moving like it's just done for me there. So yeah, I get it in place, hit it with just a little bit of heat to get it to start to conform. And then hit it with solutions. It'll stop that movement there on that piece, which is hopefully what I'm going to do around now. Now I'm going to go with the decal solutions again. So it's do as I say, not as I do again. I'm terrible for this, aren't I? But there we go. Once we've got it laid in place, we can hit it with some heat finally. There we go. And that'll help conform the edges in place and get all the edges bent over as well. So don't go mad. Once you've used the gun a few times, you'll realise it doesn't take a lot of heat to melt the decal or get the decal to conform. You don't need all that much heat really. And then the finger, a very, very useful tool for decaling. We just gently fold over the edges. So this has been softened by the decal solutions and the heat. So we just use our finger and a little bit more decal solution as well. There we go. Now on pieces like this, we put it on the bottom, make sure when it folds over, you get it set in place properly as well. Otherwise you have the same issue before of the clear lift in it. And also when you're laying the body down, be careful you're not scraping that front piece because it will rip through the decal. Now the mirrors, again, all individually cut parts, just cut them to shape. follow the instructions and get them set in place. I've got mine held on a bulldog clip for ease of attaching. Just follow the instructions, cut out the template, and you'll have no problems at all. A little bit of heat again as well. We'll say do this. And there we go. Nice and simple, straightforward and easy. So that's literally the same process as when we were doing the main markings on the car. Decal in place, use warm water to get the decal off the backing paper, get the decal in place, get all the moisture off behind it, make sure it's positioned correctly, hit it with some decal solutions, just normal will work on the Tamiya carbon, dry it off, hit it with some heat, hit it with the solutions again, and myself, I always come back for a little bit of heat at the end, and if you want, hit it with the strong solution at the end, just to make sure it's all fully set in place. And then on these door mirror mounting points, there is a little bit of carbon as well. So that is easy enough to put in place. I did cut this to size using the template, but I did find it to be a little bit long. It just needed a little bit snipping off the very bottom of it. So we got our decal tweezers and just very gently take a little bit off. There we go. And pick it up again. We can place it in place, hit it some heat, and there we go, job done. So like I said, we've got loads of carbon to go on the interior. Whether we're going to use it all, I am not sure yet, but we have on the exterior, so our spoilers done, splitter, mirrors, and the mirror mount are done as well, and hopefully that'll help you. Like I said, if you want the template, drop me an email down below and I'll send you by email. You can print it off yourself, and I hope that's helped with that. So we'll be back with part 6 soon, which is going to be a panel line wash. Thanks for watching today. As always, you want to become a patron, you come on down below, get early access to all the videos. And there's links to everything else down below, from UMPT, Pro Scale Paints, everything's down there. And a huge thanks to all my current patrons for the continued support. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.